today I'm very excited to introduce Maurice. He's one of the vendors that are in Agora, and very exciting product for credit restoration and credit building. Been doing it a long time. It's a 5-star company on the internet. Very highly qualified what they do. It's very exciting to work with him. And we've done a call from one time before, but there was a pricing change, which is a substantial pricing change. It should make a big difference in people get in here and be able to afford to get this done, especially if they're looking for a loan or they just want to fix their credit. Maurice has just shown excellent customer service, customer care. I've been very impressed with how he cares for his customers. Get on the phone with him, and he's able to get there and handle any problems. And it's just been a real joy to work with. Maurice, I'm going to go ahead and let you take over the call, and we really appreciate you being on the call today.
Okay, thanks, Jess. I really appreciate it. So, of course, I'm the CEO of eFix Credit Incorporated. We started the company back in 2009, and we have been servicing clients with their personal credit needs ever since, and we've been doing a pretty good job. As far as there's a lot of other, credit repair companies out there, and I just kind of want to, uncover some of the theories about, because everybody has a theory about credit repair. But one of the things is people believe that credit repair is essentially supposed to be a one-size-fits-all model, or that credit repair is pretty much the answer to their financial problems as far as, when it comes to their credit rating. But one of the things is about credit repair, as I see it as a credit counselor, a certified credit counselor, is basically getting you to the stage to where you can move forward. So whether your goal is to purchase a home, whether your goal is to purchase a new car, move into an apartment, or just to have better credit, you might be looking to secure a career or a job. And, a lot of employers like to pull credit checks these days. So whatever it may be, your credit report is pretty much like your resume, your financial resume, I would say. So I just wanted to kind of explain that, because, a lot of people think, okay, well, if you wipe all the negative stuff off my credit, I should be able to do everything I need to do. And, there's very different scenarios, because everybody's credit is different. My credit is different from, my sisters, my moms, my cousins. None of our credit is identical. So in that theory, different things apply to different people. Some people may have went through bankruptcy. Some people may have had a tax situation. They have tax liens, maybe child support. So, we don't have a one-size-fits-all model. We basically tailor the process to fit your specific needs and help you reach your goals. And I think that's very important, because when you have a one-size-fits-all process, it may work great for somebody else, but it may not work that great for this other individual. And right now we have a 78% deletion rate. And people say, well, okay, one of the good questions I get a lot is, okay, Maurice, but, I incurred all this debt, life happened, I lost my job, I don't understand how you can get these things removed on my behalf when all this debt and all these negative accounts that are reported I actually own, and I know I own them. Okay, that's fine. One thing you have to understand about credit and the Fair Credit Reporting Act is everything on your credit report has to be 100% accurate. Everything on your report has to be 100% verifiable. These are the two main components. If it's not 100% verifiable, and it's not 100% accurate, then it has to be removed. Now, as most consumers really don't understand that concept, I'm pretty sure if I talk to a room full of individuals, I don't think one person can sit up here and tell me without a shadow of a doubt that every single thing that's reported on their credit is 100% accurate. Nobody would know that, just off the top of their head, because nobody looks at their credit report, in that fashion. No one looks that deep. Some people do. I'm not going to say no one, but the average person doesn't look that deep into a credit report. So in these scenarios, that's why I'm explaining this. So in the scenario, let me give you another scenario. Collection accounts. One of the main things, violations that we have with collection accounts is that they cannot verify the account. Why they can't verify the account? One of the reasons is why is that if you own an account and you owed, let's say, Home Depot, and then Home Depot sold off the account to a collection agency, a second or third party. The collection agency reports it on your credit. They contact you. They send you letters in mail saying, hey, you owe us. Now, one of the major violations and why they can't verify that is because when you first incurred that debt, it wasn't with that particular company. You had an agreement when you applied for the credit card or the credit account with Home Depot. That's the original creditor. That's the one that you have the terms and conditions with, not this second or third party. So the first violation is that debt was sold without your knowledge. Secondly, you don't have a written obligation to pay that company. So, yeah, they may own the debt because they sold them the debt, but essentially, as far as law and regulation, there's no way they can prove that you actually owe them. So that's one of the easy scenarios that I kind of put out there, for different clients that I talk to. So, and the scenarios go on and on and on. There's a lot of different violations. You may have a balance that's reported different with TransUnion opposed to Experian or Equifax. Like I said, everything has to be accurate. One credit bureau might be reporting a 30-day late, and the other one's reported on time. That's another inaccuracy. So, there's several different little tidbits that could be reported, and studies have shown that a little over 70% of credit reports have inaccuracies. Those are the numbers. So people ask, does credit repair work? Is it doable? Can it work for me? Yes. 9 times out of 10. It may not work for every single erroneous item that is reported on your credit, but greater than 50% you'll probably see as far as a deletion rate, over 50%. So, and I just want to kind of stress that. Now, the second part about credit repair is a lot of people who usually have bad credit. Most clients I see, they have credit, they haven't looked at their credit in years, and they've had credit, and life happens. Now they have a whole bunch of derogatory accounts. They haven't really done too much with their credit, so I see a lot of reports that have very little positive payment history because they kind of let everything go. In that scenario, what I'm saying, I'm going to give you an example. I had a client, I think we removed about 50 accounts, negative accounts on her behalf. She had a tons of negative accounts. She went through a divorce. Now, the problem is that even with removing all those accounts, she didn't have a good credit score. And the reason why is because she had not one positive account reported. So one of the things that we like to do is we like to give you resources to establish good payment history. People don't understand that just by getting a secured card, if you have, let's just say you have very little or no good positive history in a while, one secured $200 secured credit card will increase your points anywhere from 75 to 150 points. Now, that's a fact, and we've seen it done for several different clients. So that's really, and essentially you want at least about 3, people, if you're trying to purchase a home, you're trying to purchase a car, if you're trying to finance something, they usually like to see 3 positive accounts. And that's really simple. That's not really hard to do. And we give our clients the resources to do that. Even if you have bad credit, we give you resources that will not decline you, and you can establish that good positive history. Because you're going to need some good payment history in order for that score to increase. Because if there's nothing to score, then the score is still going to be low. How can you have a good credit rating and you don't have any good payment history? I think that kind of, when I put it like that, it makes a little bit more sense to people. So, that particular client, when I explained that to her, she was like, okay, well, you know what, that does make sense. So, I just wanted to kind of, because, credit repair has had a bad taste in a lot of people mouth, over the years. There's been a lot of companies that make all these promises, say we can do this, say we can do that, oh, you're looking to purchase a home, oh, yeah, we can fix that for you. And it's been a lot of broken promises in credit repair. Some shady companies, some companies do very well. There's some companies out here that actually do the work, and they actually do very well and perform well for their clients. But, there has been, I get a lot of horror stories. Hey, I went through this company. They charged me all this money. They wouldn't give me my money back, and I got very little results. And that's not, I think we care more about the client with our company. We want to make sure that you're getting the results. You're reaching your goal. Because if you're not reaching your goal, then we're not really doing a good job. And if you're unhappy, we always try to accommodate our clients. I can honestly say that, hey, 100% of our clients are 100% satisfied. We have a few that, may not understand the process. We have a few that, it could be a matter of circumstance. But for the most part, we have performed well for majority of our clients. But following the steps, following the program is key. I cannot stress that enough. I always tell all my clients, as long as you follow everything, the recommendations that we give you, you can't miss. And usually the clients that follow the program have the best results. Some people just don't want to be involved. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to take the necessary steps. They don't want to get a secure card. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. Well, then, there's only so much that we can do. Like I said, if we remove every negative thing off there and you don't have any positive history, you're not going to have a good credit rating. And that's just the facts. So I just wanted to lay that out. Those are some of the main scenarios that I usually lay out for people so they can understand what credit repair is, what it means, and how it works. Vince, I don't know if anyone had any questions, but I'm open to answer.
Well, yeah, I have a couple things. I have a couple. So what about things that are like 7 years old? What is the ruling like? I know some people think they automatically drop off, or can you talk about that, things that are 7 years old on your credit report?
Okay, yeah, absolutely, no problem. So if you have an account that's reported and it's been past 7 years, they don't necessarily always drop off. I'm going to give you a couple of different scenarios with that. One, it's still on there, it just hasn't dropped off. The credit bureau their system hasn't removed it from their system. Two, if it's a collection agency, they will say, hey, we just acquired an account, and they'll report it again, so it's called re-aging accounts. I've seen that happen. And also, as far as public records are reported for, like, as far as the bankruptcy, will be reported for 10 years. So now that is reported for 10 years. So the 7 year doesn't apply to the bankruptcies. So yeah, they just because it's 7 years doesn't mean they'll necessarily fall off automatically. And in a lot of cases it does. A lot of cases it really does. But in some scenarios it doesn't. And, you'll have to dispute that to eradicate that from your report.
Where do you go about doing so if it doesn't fall off, you guys go in there and take it off. But if it's after 7 years, it's supposed to automatically go off on those things?
Yeah, it's automatically supposed to come off, but it doesn't always. So sometimes you have to dispute and say, hey, it's past 7 years, this is still reported, why is it still in my report? And naturally, they'll remove it without a problem.
Gotcha. And can you talk a little bit about how your company is different than Lexington Law and how some of the other what sets your company, not necessarily just Lexington Law, but what sets your company apart from other companies?
Okay. So Lexington Law, they're probably one of the probably if not the 300-pound gorilla in the room, at least one of them. So Lexington Law is more. People don't even understand. Lexington Law is more of a marketing company than a credit repair company. Their marketing is second to none. So their whole thing is they want to stretch you out. They want to keep you in their program as long as possible. And I'm going to explain to you how they do that. For one, they're only going to dispute, if somebody has 50 or 60 items on their credit report, they're not going to dispute more than 5 items at a time. 5 items at a time. That really takes a long time. Us, basically, we dispute every single negative item, every round of dispute. So each month, we are disputing everything that's still reported negative on your credit. And then if you complain with Lexington Law and say, you know what, I don't want to pay this $80 or $90 a month. It's too expensive. I've been in your program 7, 8 months now. It's constantly costing me money, and I'm not really seeing much results. They're going to tell you, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll keep you enrolled, and we'll offer you another plan that's cheaper for $35 a month or something like that. I think it's $30 or $40 a month. And, you know, would you be able to do that, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so? Okay, yeah, that's doable. You know, you broke the price in half or less, and, yeah, I can still stay enrolled. But the only thing, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, we're only going to dispute one bureau at a time. So now they stretch you out even longer. So they're still getting the same. Eventually, they're still going to get the same amount of money because now they're making it even longer. They're only just going to work on one bureau. So how does that help? How does that help the consumer? How does that help the client? You know, if they're going to say, okay, we're going to do an even slower process. So that's how we're different. And you can go, you can verify this. You go look on their website, and you know you can see some of the reviews where people are saying the same thing that I'm saying. So, but yeah, that's the difference between us and Lexington Law.
Can you explain disputing, what that means, and the letters and things like that go out? Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is we analyze the credit report. When we first talk to a client, we need to see everything, we look at everything, and based on what we see and our knowledge, we attack these items. Usually, the dispute process could be different for different people and how they dispute, different companies, how they dispute. Some companies just constantly send letters and say, it's not mine, it's not mine, the account is not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine. Every letter they send, how they say it's not mine. And, of course, there has to be a better way. So what we do is we challenge accounts. You know, so it's the difference between disputing and challenging. So it is an initial dispute, and we're opening an investigation per se, whatever item that we're actually challenging. But our whole thing is new information. Because if you keep saying it's not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine, eventually they'll say, you know what, this is a frivolous dispute, and we already responded to this. So basically our whole thing is new information. When we dispute, it's something new. It's something different. It's another technique. It's another tactic. It's another area where we could go in and challenge that account. So that's how our process works. And usually when we dispute, they usually have about anywhere up to 45 days to respond. Usually they respond in most cases in around 3 to 4 weeks. Usually, in most cases, sometimes it does take up to 45 days, but rarely. For the most part, more times than less, you should receive some kind of correspondence in about 3 to 4 weeks after they receive the disputed amount.
And can you kind of talk about, like, what does someone have to do? Like, let's say go with your company and they want to use your company, when you start disputing things, is there anything that the person using your service has to do?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So one of the main things that we advise our clients to do is to forward us a copy of the correspondence. So whether the correspondence is from Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, or a creditor, or even collection letters from a collection agency or second or third parties. Anything regarding their personal credit, as far as negative accounts, forward us that correspondence. Because we have a timely method to respond, because usually they give us about 30 to 45 days to respond to any correspondence. So, that's where a lot of the clients drop the ball. Some clients are really good about that, but that's where a lot of clients drop the ball. And I want to also stress, people say, when creditors call and they're harassing us, we have a method for that to stop the phone calls. So that way, you won't continue to be harassed. We even have scenarios where, depending on what the inaccuracies, because, my whole team is trained to look for certain inaccuracies. And if the inaccuracy is one of those scenarios where we can actually forward it to one of the FCRA attorneys that we work with, we actually have gotten our clients settlements and also the, certain items removed on their credit report. So, some clients that we have done that for, they have gotten checks in the mail for $1,000, $1,500, and also the account was removed. So depending on what the scenario is as far as inaccuracy and how it's damaging their credit, we could also, do litigation, which is no additional charge to the consumer or the client. It's actually an added benefit, to the service we provide, which a lot of credit repair companies don't do that. But if we actually spot one of those, we will actually forward it over to one of the attorneys that we work with. I don't know, did I answer your question, Vince?
Yeah, I did. So on the new plan, let's go over that right now, that we worked out with Maurice is for $119 a month with credit monitoring included. Can you tell them the importance of credit monitoring and how this works for this price range right here?
Okay, credit monitoring. We have one of the best credit monitoring platforms out there. And the reason why I know is because I've been working in this industry. I go speak at all the conventions. I just left the Credit Con. I'm going to the Credit Fest this week, and I'll be at Credit Fest in June speaking. So with these, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
For the credit monitoring?
Yeah, the credit monitoring. Sorry. I forgot what I was going to say, but I'll come back to it. But so we have one of the best credit monitoring platforms. So the thing about credit monitoring is if we don't have credit monitoring, then we cannot monitor your reports. And one thing about the credit monitoring, Smart Credit, that we're affiliated with is that we can update the score and the report every day. So, and that's really a good thing. So, when clients see that their score is going up, when they're getting these alerts in their email, your score went up 10, 20, 30 points, 100 points, 200 points, it's really a great benefit to have. And not even only that, the credit monitoring comes with identity theft insurance up to $1 million that covers the whole household. So everybody that's in the household, the husband, the wife, the children, everybody's covered as far as identity theft insurance. And if you lose your wallet, your ID, it will reimburse you for your lost IDs, passports, and also there's no long affidavit that you have to take, because usually identity theft protection, usually with LifeLock and all these others, you got to fill out all these different packets. And with us, you don't have to fill out no long affidavit. And it's really a simple process. You do have to activate it. We can't activate it for you, but every client will have a login into their credit monitoring. You log in, all you have to do is click up a button, activate. So you just need to activate it, and then your whole household is covered.
Man, that's great. Yeah, so if you look on here, we changed the pricing plan. This used to be $249, and I think that's around the same price, but we reduced the monthly and also the setup fee. And this is really comparable to, like, I think Lexington's Law has about this going rate right here with credit monitoring. That's why we want to be competitive out there. So we did work on our rates and our things. But this is very powerful, very needed. People that are looking to get loans, a lot of people out there are trying to get business loans, or, we do offer business loans with Agora, and some people, they just can't get it because they don't got their credit score where they need it to be. And also, like buying home, getting cars, you said, some jobs require it. It's very, very important. So we're very excited to be working with Maurice and UFix Credit. This is just an incredible service and something that's very much needed. So Maurice, can you kind of tell, so if someone has any questions before they do it, I guess they could call your number here and ask questions, and if you feel confident and want to go forward, you just add to the cart and buy it right here, $119 a month. They'll be notified, and you'll be notified, and they'll start working on your credit. But let's say someone has any questions, Maurice, what can they do?
You could contact us. You can contact me myself, or you could contact our number. Anyone who answers the phone can answer any questions that you may have about the process, the service. If any kind of questions that you have pertaining to personal credit, we can pretty much answer. So yeah, just reach out to us and ask us any kind of questions. If you need some resources, some free resources, to help you rebuild, we'll give you those. Those don't cost anything. We're here to help you.
Exactly. Well, Maurice, we thank you for being on the call today, and very informative and very needed. And we really appreciate you being a part of Agora. And with that, I'll go ahead and end the call. And everyone, thanks for being on the call today, and everyone have a good day.
All right. Thanks, Vince. I appreciate you.